Hello everyone, welcome back and welcome to me making this year's and future year's Christmas puddings. As you can see, we've got some ground almonds, some ground almonds, some raisins, sultanas, walnuts, and then lemon and mixed spice. As the title of this video says, this doesn't have has very little fat, no added sugar, and is a gluten-free Christmas pudding. And it's a recipe we've had in the family for, well, generations as far as I can tell. It relies primarily on the fruit and eggs and things holding the pudding together, but we have to mince some of the fruit up, and I'm going to do that in the food processor. As you can see, I've already got some sultanas in there. The recipe calls for, I think it's 225 grams of minced sultanas. I'm doing double quantities because I want to make more than one pudding, but if you're just making the one, it's pretty much 225, and the same of raisins, but I'm going to do the sultanas first and then the raisins, and I'll bring you back when we get to that stage. So as you can see, they're all chopped up. I think if you've got a mincing attachment on a stand mixer or something like that, would probably work a little bit better than the food processor, but I don't have that, so food processor it is. So I'm going to repeat that with the raisins, and I'll bring you back when I've got to that stage. Now the next thing I need to mince up in the food processor are some prunes. These have been soaking for the last couple of days in just ordinary water, and I need to preserve that water for the cooking process, so that's hence why I've sieved them. But they're going to go into the food processor and be minced up as well. And next we're adding 100 grams of chopped walnuts, or in my case, as I said, because I'm doubling up, 200 grams. I've just given them they're already chopped, but I've just given them a bit more of a blitz in the food processor to chop them a bit finer. And then I've added 225 grams of ground almonds, 2 teaspoons of ground mixed spice, the zest of a largish lemon, 125 mils of brandy, and 125 mils of whisky, 2 egg yolks beaten up, or in my case 4, and then I'm going to add to that 250 mils, or as I said in my case 500 mils of the juice reserved from soaking the prunes. So that goes in. I've still got to add another 500 grams each. Sorry, 500 grams of sultanas and 150 grams of raisins. But what I'm going to do, because I'm not going to get it all in this mixing pan, is to mix this and then halve it, and then mix that in with the rest of the whole fruit. So I'll bring you back when this is all well combined. So I've divided the mixture into two and added the remaining dried fruit. Now what I'm going to do is I've got some pudding bowls, I'm going to fill those. They're greased with butter, which is the only fat I actually use in this recipe, so fill those, and then they need to go on my steamer for an hour, and they're going to have to be steamed one at a time because the steamer's not big enough to take more than one, so that will take a little while. I'll bring you back when they're ready to go in there. Okay, so that's the first basin fill. Basically what you need to do is make sure that it's really well packed in, because there's not obviously a lot of fat or anything holding the pudding together. It's mostly bound by the egg and the minced fruit, so you just need to check there aren't any obvious gaps around the outside between the pudding and the inside of the bowl, and then add a grease-proof lid, which I've just made from literally drawing around the top of the basin. Put the lid on the bowl. I'm going to wrap that in a cotton muslin cover, and then that will go in the steamer for an hour. So that's pudding number one in the steamer, and leave that for an hour. Just need to check that the water bath underneath doesn't need topping up from time to time, but steam for an hour. So in addition to the pudding that's in the steamer, I've got a further, well, 2.5. That one on the right isn't quite a full pudding, but it wouldn't do too badly for a small family or a couple. So that's by doubling up the ingredients. I'm conscious that as I was reading out the ingredients, as I was adding them to the bowl, sometimes I was saying what the recipe says, and sometimes I was saying what I was using, and sometimes both. So just to be helpful, what I'll do is pop the ingredients for essentially a single pudding into the description of the video below, but otherwise these once steamed, once cooked, keep very well. In fact, will keep multiple years if needed, as long as they're well frozen, and then just simply defrost and re-steam for about 45 minutes before serving. So what I will be doing with these is, once they're cooked, they'll be going in the freezer. One will be coming out for Christmas. We might save one for next year, and probably will be passing others on to members of the family. So if you have been, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.